Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Doodles Friday Night Live with me and special guest. And tonight we'll be getting joined by Arron from South Coast Detecting. But before I bring Arron on, I'd just like to say thank you very much to everyone for joining the stream tonight and supporting myself and Arron. Very much appreciated, and I hope you've all been keeping well. Anyway, we'll get Arron. Oh, Arron, how are we doing?
Cheers! All good. It's all good.
Yeah,
How are
yeah,
you?
not too bad, not too bad. Can I just firstly say thank you very much for coming on and appearing on tonight's Friday night live stream as a guest. It's an honour to have you on.
Pleasure, pleasure.
Not too bad. So how's your day been today then?
Warm and windy, which could describe many things. But yeah, it's been a warm and windy day down here on the south coast. It's been overcast and what have you, but it's still been muggy. It's been bless you. It's still been muggy, and there's a storm coming over. Is it Storm Ellen or something like that?
Yeah.
It's playing havoc with my fence panels. I'll tell you.
Oh,
But yeah,
so,
been a good day.
yeah.
Been a good day.
So you might have some fence panels to repair after the weekend then.
Oh, well, fingers crossed. I haven't. No, I don't want to be getting out there doing that sort of nonsense. I want to be down the beach.
Oh yeah, definitely. Can he beat a bit of swinging? Anyway, do you want to just tell everyone how long you've actually been detecting, and what got you started in our fantastic hobby?
Okay, so first of all, I got started. I believe it was Christmas 2016.
Nice.
I got my first. I mean, I'd had a detector before then, but it was this really old, chunky thing that I got from a car boot for £11. You know, tried it on the beach. Didn't really understand discrimination and everything else, so I wasn't seriously into it at that point. And then I ended up kicking off my detecting with a Garrett Ace 250, as many people out there
Yeah,
have,
I started with that.
and started using that. I got that, 2016, and the channel was born basically at the moment of me getting that detector. I'd already had the channel,
Yeah.
but it was like a mishmash. It didn't know what it wanted to be. There was uploads on there of all sorts, family holidays and
Yeah.
bits. And then I thought, yeah, let's do detecting. So since the very first hunt, I've been uploading.
Nice. So who were you watching at the time when you first started?
So there were I'd say four main channels that I started watching. One of them was Going Garrett, because you get a Garrett, you go on YouTube, you want to know how to get the best out of
Yeah.
it, so you look at videos. Same as if you're buying anything, you always look at reviews for
Yeah.
things. I found Going Garrett, started watching them, and I thought, yes, these are good. These are good videos, good people. And I've had the fortune to go out detecting with Steve from Going Garrett, and we had a brilliant day. He came down and we had a killer of a time. It was really, really good. There was also Ben, 180 Felix Stowe
Yeah.
Hunter was another channel that I used to watch. Again, he started with the Garrett. I was watching him for the Garrett. Hades Detecting was another one.
Yeah.
Chris, uh, again, beach detecting, started watching his videos. And I think a channel that we've all been guilty of watching at some point
Yeah.
or other, Deep Digger Dan.
Yeah. When he juggles the hand grenades.
That's it. And I've also been out detecting with Dan as well when he did his 365 thing.
Okay.
Came onto the beach that you see me
Yeah.
detecting all the time. He came down and we spent the day there. And yeah,
Oh,
I used Deus, I think.
nice.
Yeah, good day. Good day.
Yeah. So you started off with the 250, and what machines
Mm-hmm.
what machines have you used since? Because obviously we see you use a couple now.
So I started with a 250.
Yeah.
Then I upgraded it and got a Nell Tornado coil. If there's anybody out there thinking of doing that, do
Yeah.
it. Definitely do it.
A lot of people just try and upgrade, don't they, straight to another machine rather than change the coil.
Yeah, yeah. Don't just stick with the same machine. Get a new coil. Get to know the machine like the back of your hand, and that will make you a better detectorist.
Yeah.
From there was a step from there onto the Nocta Macro Cruiser.
Right. Yeah.
Now, going from an Ace 250 to a Cruiser was like, what the hell? I didn't get on with it for the first couple of
Yeah.
hunts because it's so, to me, it felt as if it was complicated. There was so much to learn. There was ISAT.
Yeah.
There was like, all these different things you could change, but I was just overthinking it.
Yeah.
Took it back to factory reset, looked at it, realized that what was on the factory reset was perfect. You don't even have to mess with anything. Maybe change a few little bits and bobs, but yeah. And then me and the cruiser, we clicked, and I was out with it. We were finding all sorts in the parks, half crowns, threepenny bits, sixpence. It was almost silver, silver, silver every hunt. I love the cruiser. Very good machine. Underrated machine. From the cruiser, I think in between, I've used the Go Find 44.
Yeah. You done a beach test with one. Was it the Go Find 44 or was it the 60 you done?
No, it was 44. Yeah, I I've done a couple of beach hunts now with the 44 because I gave one away.
Yeah.
In one of my giveaways, and I think it was Jeff of was it Gogs Go Detecting? I think he won it. Jeff.
Nice.
So yeah, the 44, great little machine.
Yeah.
So the 44, still got it. It's up there, top of the wardrobe. Cruiser, Simplex. Been out with the Simplex.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. So many times with the Simplex. But it's an easy machine. That's the reason. It's like a lot of people say, why are you using the Simplex so much? Because you've got the Vanquish, you've got the Cruiser. Yeah. It's a simple machine. You go out, you turn it on, and away you go. You know the numbers because they're easy to learn. The tones are easy to learn, and it's just a simple machine to use. So it's one just to pick up and go with. And now I'm using the Vanquish 540.
Yeah.
And I've just picked up some wireless headphones for it.
Have you?
Yeah. So I'm now fully wireless with the 540. Oh, and I've got a second coil for that as well. A little V8, tiny little, kind of like a sniper coil for it.
Did you not try headless earphones with the 540 when you first got it and were like,
I did because again, I was on YouTube and you watch videos on YouTube of other detectorists using these headphones, and there was I saw Sid Perry using a pair of August, I think they were 650s, and he tried them out on his Equinox and he said they were fine, didn't really notice any lag and all that. So I thought, well, I'll get a pair of them. They're cheap as chips, and I got a pair, and they were bloody awful.
Oh, yeah.
They were all right for listening to music, answering a phone call, but for pairing up with your Vanquish, nah, they were poo. No. Absolute poo.
Talking about the Vanquish 540 though, I've not actually tried or used it myself, but I was actually out at the weekend with Luke from Anglo Detecting, and he had the 540. And his dad had it as well, and I was actually quite impressed with the little machine. It didn't miss anything. I went over it with the Nox 800, and every signal I was picking up, they were picking up, and the numbers were quite the same as well. So it is a quite impressive little machine, like definitely.
Yeah. That's something that I've noticed. Again, when I got that, I started watching a few Vanquish videos to try and learn the tones, learn the numbers, what to dig, what not to dig. It's little quirks, because I've noticed on the beach on my last video, I thought, I'm going to hit the wet sand, because in the past, all I've been doing is hitting the dry sand and the shingle.
Yeah.
I bit the bullet on the last video. Tide was out. I was like, right, let's hit it. Let's give it 3 hours. If we find nothing, we find nothing. But as it happened, I found a few pre-decimals and a coin.
Yeah.
A ring. Oh, and a few 2p's as well. But some of its little quirks were the fact that you dig down and then you'd start to get an iron tone coming through.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily anything to do with iron. It's sort of like the mineralization of the ground as you're going through the sand and the sea. So I'm going out tomorrow, hitting the beach at low tide again.
Yep.
But this time I'm gonna dig everything, even if it's coming through as a sweet tone to begin with, and then I get down a bit deeper and find it's got a bit of a grunt to it. Sod it, I'm just going to go for it and dig it up.
Yeah. I find that it's always best to dig everything, because I've seen a few, obviously, different guests on different YouTube channels, and when they talk about it in the find rate, I always find that, I would say, the newer beginners or the newer detectorists find more initially than a seasoned one, because they dig everything. Whereas we
Yeah.
subconsciously will go over and go, I didn't like that signal, leave it. Whereas they'll go over and go, I'm digging that. And then obviously it comes out to be something decent.
You know, that reminds me of my daughter Ellie. In some of my old videos, like in the first year or so when I started detecting, I picked up a second-hand Ace 250 for her to use, and she'd come out with me. She'd be my little detecting buddy, and I'd still be doing the intro to the camera, and she'd shout over that she wants the spade. I turn around and she's already got a signal. She starts digging it, and I'm thinking, I don't know if I'd have dug that. She'd dig it up, and it'd be like a silver St. Christopher or something,
Yeah.
you know, or a nice little Vicky Farthing. And that's what you say, you know, it's the innocence of the beginner, not knowing what could be there, and it's just like, well, I've got something, I'm going to dig it. I want to see what it is.
Yeah, definitely.
They don't care.
Yeah, because even when
So
when you find like in the magazines all the hordes and that, I find it surprising because it always seems to be, I'd probably say within the first 2 years of them detecting that they generally the detectors are within first 2 years of detecting that they find the hordes and stuff like that. And then we're all sitting going, wow, you know what I mean? It's the luck of the draw, really, to be fair. But
yeah.
so obviously the folk watching tonight will be wondering as well, why you having so many detectors and use so many detectors, do you have one, because you do beaches mainly, but you do have land permissions as well, do you have a preference to which detector you use on beach and land?
At the moment, because I've only just, the last video I did was the first time I've actually really knuckled down and given the wet sand a proper going over. Up until then, I've dabbled, didn't enjoy it, because down at the beach where I am, when the tide is out, it's out. It's properly out. And the expanse of sand from where you would lay down your towel to where the sea goes out to is like the length of a football pitch. It is enormous. So a lot of the time, I've not touched it.
Okay.
Just started doing it, did it with the Vanquish, thoroughly enjoyed it. So that is going to be my go-to machine when I do the wet sand. Up on the shingle, if I get down there and the tide is in, or if I know I'm going to go down there, I'll check the tide times. If the tide is in, probably the Simplex, because I know the Vanquish kind of rejects a lot of the iron core coins.
Yeah.
Like 2p's, it loves a 5p, but it rejects a lot of the 2p's. You know, and I can't put out a video without a 2p in it.
No.
It's unheard of. I can't do that.
We'll talk about your 2p's in a minute.
And in my permissions are actually parks from the council. I'm very, very lucky to live in a county where the local council grant you permission to dig up the parks. As long as you've got insurance, they will give you a permit with a list of locations you are allowed to go, but you have to leave it looking as if you've not been there at all. So you cut a horseshoe type hole, you turn the clod over, you fold it back, you leave it looking nice. Because if you don't, they'll take the permits away, and then we'll be stuck with nothing. And for that, I had a lot of success with the cruiser, and I think first time I took out the Simplex, I got 3 silvers in one hole.
Wow.
So, yeah, I've not really had a chance to properly hit those parks because of COVID and everything else with the Vanquish. Not really had the opportunity. So I'm looking forward to dabbling with that. But yeah.
Nice. So with the machines as well, do you actually have a preference? Although you've used the Simplex and you're saying you like the Simplex, do you have a preference? Which one would you say? Because you've obviously said the Cruiser is an underrated machine as well. What one would you say you prefer or get on best with? Would you say is the best machine out of them all? The Vanquish, the Simplex, and the Cruiser.
For what? For any terrain or
just for rather than for a specific, just general usage.
I think it would have to be, and this is purely based on the fact that I've not had enough time with the Vanquish. I know it's a very good machine. I know there's people out there going to be watching this saying, well, it's the Vanquish, surely. I've not used it enough. I've used the Cruiser more than any of them. So I would say probably the Cruiser. I got on really well with the Cruiser. Had some killer finds with the Cruiser.
Yeah.
The Simplex again, great machine, punches deep, good separation. But I'd say I got on better with the Cruiser.
Not to macro, it's them that make the Cruiser, isn't it? They seem to be doing quite well with their machines as well at the moment. To be fair, the standard that they're bringing out with them, because they've got obviously the Amphibio and all that as well. And you see Lucas for Grim Bleeper and that use them, and he seems to love it. He loves the Amphibio.
And you've got the Simplex, which is meant to be a beginner's machine, and yet they're always updating the software for it, always improving, always listening to the consumer, changing the bits that need to be changing. They just brought out 2 new coils, and for a beginner's machine, it's for that price and for that and what it can offer you is very, very good. I mean, they keep hinting. I think this was last year, maybe before then. They keep hinting at a multi-frequency machine.
Okay.
Now, I know there is a multi-frequency cruiser and a multi-frequency amphibio.
Yeah.
But simultaneous multi-frequency, similar to the Vanquish, the Equinox, and so on, and the new Apex. Yeah. So Nocta Macro have got that coming.
Yeah.
But they keep hinting at it. But nobody knows any more about it. We just know that it's a simultaneous multi-frequency machine, and that's.
I think they'll be doing similar to what they've done with the Simplex. Keep it to a big event like Detectiveville and announce it then, and put it on show.
Yeah. Oh, can I say a quick thank you to Stephen Pettican if he's in?
Yeah, he's in. Stephen Pettican's in.
I think.
Yeah, he's there. Yeah.
Who got me that glass?
Yeah, that's his logo. Yeah.
What was it? No, I think it was Pettican.
Yeah, that's part of his logo, his channel. So, but
what was it? What was it, Rob Random? It might have been Rob Random.
I'm sure.
We'll find out in the chat in a minute because he'll hurl abuse at me, whichever one it was.
Yeah.
If I say it's Pettican and it was Rob Random, it was me.
You slack. Rob straight on it.
Sorry, Rob.
Yeah.
It was Rob. Yes. Thank you very much, Rob. That's right. I remember Pettican looking at it and wishing that he had one.
Nice. He's not going to let you live that down now.
I think he might have actually bought one for Pettican. I can't remember. It was at the LP Christmas do.
Right. Not too bad. Talking about the detectors and you're saying with the updates, I'm quite liking the fact that with the beginner set detectors coming out, the Simplex, the Vanquish, they've all got updates. Because I didn't realise the Vanquish gets an update as well. That's actually behind in the battery box, I believe.
Yes. Now, I've not updated mine at the moment. I've left it.
Yeah.
Purely because when I'm using my Vanquish, I want to hear that iron. At the moment, I want to hear the iron. So I always go all metal.
Yeah.
Whichever mode I choose, but always all metal and always have it on a high iron bias because I want to be able to hear that grunt. And I believe that the update at the moment on the Vanquish just changes the volume. So you can have it like high, or you can turn the volume down so it's back of the box sort of thing. But if you're going to have the iron grunt on, surely you want to hear it.
Yeah.
Which is why I haven't updated it yet. I want to hear that grunt. But yeah, it's exciting that it's updatable. Yeah. You think, well, what else can they do with this? Where can they go with this in the update?
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like they could just keep updating, or are they going to be like iPhones and stuff? After a certain point, say this machine can no longer be updated. You have to upgrade to get a newer machine. Just we'll have to wait and see on that one. But so with the metal detecting, your YouTube channel itself has actually been going a considerably long period of time. I think it's about 13 years you've had your channel now.
Like I said, I started it off and it was like family stuff I used to upload. If we went to Chesington, I'd film the kids on one of the rides and upload it.
Yeah.
I used to work in radio, and one of the things that I had to do, or they got me doing, was prank calls and parody songs. So I used to upload some of
Yeah.
those to the channel. So like I say, the channel didn't really know what it wanted to be. It was a mishmash of everything. There was all sorts on there. You know, it was kind of like a car boot sale of a channel.
Yeah.
And that's why when I started the detecting,
yeah,
I sort of like took off almost all of the stuff, left a few bits on, and then just made it just detecting now.
Yeah, because looking back at your first videos when obviously I had to look right back to when you first started, you've actually got another hobby / passion as well, and that's paranormal. We'll call it paranormal investigations. Yeah. So
Yes.
looking back at that, how did that come about? How did you actually get into that itself?
Okay, so the short answer is that I'd always been into the paranormal, always had a keen interest, big Ghostbusters fan ever since I was little. Yeah. And then Most Haunted came on telly, started watching that, totally loved it. Didn't believe it all, but totally loved it.
Yeah.
And then got, when I was working in the radio or on the radio, I had to interview somebody to do with the paranormal thing subject that was coming up, and got talking to the guys, and they were a local group. So I joined the group, went on ghost hunts with them, and I did it for about 12 years.
Nice.
Met some of the people from Most Haunted. Actually worked with Phil Wyman, who was always one of my favourites in Most Haunted, because he was the guy I wanted to be in Most Haunted.
Yeah.
You know, sensible head on his shoulders, going around with his little clipboard, collecting the evidence, weighing it up, looking at the footage, stuff like that. That's the part I wanted. You know, I didn't want to be the one going around screaming and running away from everything. I wanted to be the level-headed one.
But you turned out to be the one screaming.
No. Maybe once. But to be able to meet him and then actually work with him and call him a friend,
yeah,
you know, it was. In fact, let me show you something. Let me just see if I can dig this out for you. So,
is this?
We got here. Look, it's quite big. I don't know if you can, but on here, can you still see?
Yeah, well, you've sort of went out of focus.
On here, it just says to Arron, best wishes, many thanks for everything, and it's signed by Phil Wyman.
Nice.
Okay, so that's the back, and on the front side, it's that.
A Ouija board.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Oh. So I sleep with a Ouija board next to my bed.
No, I couldn't do that. Not a chance. What does your wife think of the fact that you're sleeping with a Ouija board at the side
I don't
of the
use it in the house. I don't use it in house. It was one of the boards that we used to use when I worked for Phil on the events. You know, we'd go into a location, people would turn up. I'd run the Ouija board for them. I'd open it up. Everyone would touch the glass, but I would never touch it, because as one of the event, or not an event organised, but as one of the event staff, we never got involved in anything. We never touched anything. So if anything happened, you know, we weren't involved. We never touched it. We never moved it. If something's happened, if something's flown off the table, it's down to you guys, or it's down to the paranormal, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And he gave me one of the Ouija boards and signed it for me.
Nice.
Which was nice.
Are you still following the paranormal? You still getting out there into the houses?
People still talk to me about it. They still come to me with something that may have occurred, looking for an explanation. Because one of the side things that we used to do as well with the group, not with Phil, with the local group I was connected to, is people would contact them and they'd say, we've got strange things going on. Can you help us?
Yeah.
Or can you at least shed some light on what's going on? And we'd be like, yeah, okay, put the kettle on, make sure you've got plenty of biscuits, we'll come round. You know, we'd always go round for free. We'd give up our evening for free. We'd just go and talk to them. listen to their stories,
Nice.
and see if we could help. And that was it. And more often than not, we did.
There's got to have been some good stories though.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. There's been. It's funny. It's funny you should say the screaming thing.
Yeah.
I did do that one night. There was one
Yeah.
night. I believe this was at Fort Amherst. I think it was Fort Amherst down in Kent. Very haunted location. So Phil Wyman's there, most haunted, a veteran of the paranormal, and also his guest for the evening, Dr. Kieran O'Keefe, parapsychologist, again from Most Haunted.
Nice.
And we're there and we're wandering around Fort, I'm sure it was Fort Amherst, and I turn a corner and there's a barrel just round the corner, a big old wooden barrel, and I crapped myself and jumped out of my skin like you wouldn't believe. I honestly thought it was a person crouching behind the corner, and it wasn't. It was a barrel. And yeah, it's slightly embarrassing in front of them too.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Two kind of, like, we'll not say heroes, but iconic people
Yeah.
that you watch, and then you make yourself look like a
Yes.
fool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on this way, guys. Don't worry. Follow me. Just, yeah. Yeah.
Oh dear. So we your videos as well, the paranormal as well, right at the start as well. You go through the you do like short videos of equipment, video camcorder. I
Yes.
think there's one of your a couple of pound and homemade bracket for your camcorder of a infrared light
Yep.
and stuff. So
Yep.
over the years, how much equipment have you gathered, and how much of it would you actually say works? If you know what I mean.
Right. So I built a lot of equipment. They were like you say, infrared lights to geometers that would pick up vibrations, to a helmet with an infrared camera on
Yeah.
it, so you could walk around hands free, and wherever you look, you are filming, all in the dark. TV with like base room and monitor the house. I mean, the EMF meters, loads of stuff, absolutely loads of stuff. But I think there was a big gust of wind out there.
Yeah, we kind of
Bit of a
lost
pull.
your.
Yeah, it's because of the wind. Like I say, very blustery down here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I gathered so much equipment over the years, and the thing is, though, all of it did exactly what it set out to do.
Yeah.
Every piece of equipment, every piece of the paranormal equipment that I had did exactly what it was meant to do. The vibration sensor picked up vibrations and lit a light to show you it was vibrating.
Yeah.
The camera would film in the dark. The EMF meters would pick up EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies.
Yeah.
Everything did what it was meant to do, but none of it picked up a ghost.
Right.
That is something that Phil always said as well at the start of the event. He said, look, we've got all this equipment for you to use it, experiment, tell us your findings. But he was honest with them. He said, none of this has been proven to detect ghosts.
Okay.
Everything on the table works and does exactly what it's been designed to do, but there's no guarantee that you will get a ghost with any of this equipment.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the chat as well, because I'm seeing that John Clayton says that he saw a ghost in the pub in Chester called The Boot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of people out there that when you talk to them, they don't like to go up to someone and say, "Yeah, I've seen a ghost." They don't do that. But if the conversation arises, they will say, "Oh yeah, I've seen something."
Yeah.
When you get talking to people, but people just don't like talking about it because it's a little bit weird.
Yeah.
It's a little bit strange, isn't it? But I've lost my train of thought now. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the equipment. Yeah, all of it. Like the vibration meter, we went to Oxford Castle.
Yeah.
And we're in one of the rooms of Oxford Castle. And we had this little box. It's got like a magnetic sensor inside it and a line of LEDs at the top to indicate the strength of a vibration.
Yeah.
We had it in the center of the room. Everyone else was sat on the outside of the room, and we're just looking at this thing. And you start talking, and then all of a sudden, the box would start lighting up. It's picking up a vibration. So then you'd start asking yes or no questions, or show us a sign for this, show us a sign for that, you know. And you could have a conversation with this box of lights on the floor.
Yeah.
But when you then returned, maybe a few months later, with the same equipment, same room, nothing.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing, you know.
Yeah.
And we were down in the basement one time at Oxford Castle, and we had something called a shack hack, or a Frank's box, which is basically an AM FM radio, digital,
Yeah.
that scans through the frequency from the very top, you know, 100 and what is it, 109 or something, point something, down to 87
Yeah.
point something, and it just continuously scans. Doesn't stop, just keeps going. And what that's meant to do is meant to tune in on the frequency of a spirit.
Right.
Now, sounds far-fetched, sounds a little bit odd, a little bit kooky, but some people have great results with this thing. And we had a fantastic result. You may have seen it, because I think the clip might still be online. It might not be. Where we're in the basement of Oxford Castle, and we got this Frank's box scanning through the stations. It's just going.
Yeah.
Every now and then there'd be a word, something like that. And one of the team leaders, Steve, he said, right, he said, if you're there, I want you to say my name. He was getting really cocky with it, you know. Come on, I want you to say my name. If you can hear me, if you're there, say my name. And it's just going. And I thought, they don't know who you are. You know, at least tell them.
Yeah.
And then anyway, he sort of said, my name's Steve, can you say it? And then straight away, the box just went, Steve. And we were like, whoa.
Nice.
Because the thing is, because the chances of that happening are, as I'd say, as remote as winning the lottery, because you've got all those frequencies.
Yeah.
And the 0.1, 0.2 of each frequency.
Yeah.
And all those frequencies have got radio stations on. And for the fact of that radio to hit a radio station on the exact frequency that a presenter is saying the word Steve is millions to one, you know.
Nice.
Of all the words that they could be saying at 4 o'clock in the morning, for the radio just to then go, boom,
Yeah.
Steve. It was like, what?
I think if that happened to me, I'd be gone. I'd be like, out the room.
Well, after that, we were still talking to it, and it just kept swearing at us. And a lot of FM stations, they don't broadcast that sort of profanity. So
Yeah.
where they were coming from, we don't know.
Are you sure it wasn't Rob Random hiding in the corner?
Yeah, Rob in the corner. Oh, she would.
Oh dear. Sorry, Rob. Yeah. So I've lost my train of thought as well there.
Yeah.
Not too bad. But obviously, you're a man of many talents. Nice. Topping up.
San Miguel.
Yeah. So you're actually a man of many talents as well. So you're a good, I'll say paranormal investigator, a detectorist,
Yes.
but you're also a published author. You've got like a book out, Haunted Chichester. So what's the message?
Well, it's a collection, or it's an A to Z basically of the Chichester district, and a little bit wider around the Chichester area. Very hot Roman occupation there, Chichester. Still got a lot of Roman walls.
Yeah.
And it's all about all the paranormal things that have happened in Chichester and the surrounding areas. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think it's a hot spot?
Oh God, yeah. Chichester was massive with Roman activity, you know, and the amount of murders, killings, things like that would have happened in and around Chichester would have been amazing. You know, the battles, the stuff like that was going on. But surprisingly, there's not that many Roman stories in the book. The book came about because I was doing these paranormal investigations with this local group, and I used to write reports after every investigation, you know, times of when we were out, the information we picked up, any evidence we picked up, and I would put it on a little website, my own little website. And I just thought, well, these are fascinating. I wonder if anybody else thinks they're fascinating. So I contacted a
Yeah.
publicist and said, I've got all these stories, case files, like Diary of a Ghost Hunter. Do you want to publish it? And they said, no.
Yeah.
But we are looking for somebody to write a book for us in and around Chichester. And I was like, I'm your man. So they did. They gave me a year to do it. And I think I wrote it in the last 3 months of that year.
Nothing like lastminute.com.
No, I just put it off and kept putting it off and put it off. And in fact, all the photos that are in the book were all collected within I think it was 2 days.
Yeah.
We did a tour of Chichester and all the villages that are in the book. I said to my mate Mark, right, now we need to go to Midhurst. Right, which way is it? That way, let's go. And we'd find the story in the book, take a picture of it. Right, where are we going next? Oh, right, now we got to go south.
Yeah.
So I got it written, and there are a few mistakes in the book. It's not brilliant.
Is there 50-50, half writing, half pictures? Because I'm good at looking at pictures, but not necessarily reading.
Oh, don't worry. I wrote it, so it's going to be a nice, easy read.
Oh, that's okay. I like easy reading.
It's not complicated. It's just straightforward. And the one thing I did get a compliment on it. The one thing that somebody liked about it was the fact that it left it down to the person reading it to decide whether or not the haunting was real.
Yeah.
I tell you the history of the haunting, what the haunting is supposed to be,
Yeah.
but then I leave it open for you to say, well, that's just nonsense, or yeah, that I think that could be real.
Nice.
I don't sort of like ram it down your throat.
Yeah.
So to speak.
That's it.
Careful. I know what you're thinking.
Yeah. That's a good way to leave it though, because obviously you find a lot of folk will say this is a fact, or like try and say this actually happened, but leaving it there's what we know. This is what happened. You make your own minds up.
Yes,
it's kind of a good way to do it.
Exactly. That is the approach that I took.
Yeah.
Oh, and also, the title of the book slightly changed. They wanted to call it Haunted Chichester, but it's called Haunted Chichester and Beyond. Because I didn't fully understand when they said to me, we want you to write a book with a 5-mile radius around Chichester. So what I did was using a map, I measured 5 miles from the centre of Chichester out and drew a circle. Really, I should have measured 2.5 miles and drew a circle.
Yeah.
So I went slightly further afield than they wanted, but we got some good stories.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just noticing a comment for Detector Network. I don't have Instagram. I'll have a look at it for you, but I don't have Instagram at the moment. He's asking me. He can't tag me on Instagram, but I don't have. Do you have Instagram?
Yes. South Coast Detected. I'm on Instagram. Yes.
Yeah. No, I don't. I'm not sure how to use it, to be fair. But yeah.
All you got to do is post a picture.
Yeah. Keep posting pictures. I'm bad for pictures. If you notice in the videos that I do, there's very little photos because I forget to take pictures. There's even like sites that are called like clod shots, and I forget to take a picture of the find in the clod, so I can never post my find on there because it's not in the clod. So I'm like, oh well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. When I remember, I'll do a clod shot, or I'll take a photo. Like if I'm on the beach, I'll take a photo of a ring sitting on the box of the machine, so you can see Vanquish ring or Simplex and a ring.
Yeah.
But half the time I just forget.
Yeah, I'm the same. And then afterwards, you see somebody else's picture and you're like, maybe should have done that actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, one of the moments. So not too bad. So as we were talking, we'll kind of go on about. We'll run about your paranormal investigation. And as I said, you're a man of many talents. You also posted a video, a clip. You also do voiceovers, and you've got your voice, which has actually been nationally put out there because it was on McIntyre's comedy. I can't remember what you call it. The bit where he
Road
takes
show.
this, yeah,
It was always Big Saturday or something like
yeah,
that. Yeah,
he takes the celebrity's phone and put the Santa app on, and lo and behold, your voice pops out. So how does that
yeah.
come about?
Well, in fact, that was quite early on in my voiceover career.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was just bumming around on a few sites trying to get a few voiceover gigs, and then somebody advertised that they wanted a Santa for an app. So I thought, well, I could do a Santa voice, you know. Hoo, 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 Merry Christmas, everyone. You know, so I sent off a clip to them, and yeah, they loved it, and they offered me the gig. And it has been a blessing and a curse,
yeah,
that app, because I mean it's nice and it pays well, but you also have to record a hell of a lot of stuff for it,
yeah,
because the app is made, your voice is made like a jigsaw puzzle. Yeah, you start off with an intro, then you've got a kid's name,
yeah,
then something that the kid likes to do, then something that the kid has been either good or bad, something that the kid needs to improve, you know, and it's so you've got to record a scenario for every possible outcome.
yeah.
So the word count, I think, for this app, since I first started doing it, including all the kids' names from all around the world. You know, I'm not just recording Tom, Dick, and Harry. I've got names that I cannot pronounce, and they
Yeah.
want me to do it with Santa. So I think since I started doing it, I've recorded, I think, well in excess of around 50. No, maybe 60,000 words easily.
That is a
And I
lot.
think about, and I think maybe about 40,000 of them are just names.
How long did it take you to actually record everything for the app?
Well, luckily, it first started off with an initial bulk of about 5,000 names.
Yeah.
Handful of phrases, what people like, you know, like, oh, I believe you like skateboarding, you know, and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And yeah, so that initial run wasn't too bad. And I think that took me about a week, because in that little recording cupboard, when I'm sat in there, man, it gets hot. It gets hot. And if you're in there for a good few hours,
Yeah.
oof, you need a break. So the first initial one was, yeah, it was about a week. But then they built into the app the possibility of updating it and putting people's names in. So you could request a name. So then all these names have come flooding in. Arron, can you do this update for us?
Yeah.
There's a few pages need doing, so I'll go on to it, and it's like 4 or 5 pages. Each one's got maybe 100 names on it. It's like, oh, for crying out loud.
The bit I had to laugh as well though was McIntyre actually obviously wait what and opens up the app, starts to speak, and then it calls him a girl, and he's like what?
Yeah, see, because he thought he was going to be speaking to a real person, but then he realised it was a pre-record. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Detector Network, contact me for voiceovers. Not even joking. Yes, please. Hey, contact me. I'll do some voiceovers for you. Detector Network, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You part of Detector Network as well?
I am. I'm on there. I've also set up the South Coast Detecting either group or page, one or the other. I can't remember which one it is. That is on Detector Network as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm all up on there.
Yeah.
All up on.
It's a good platform, definitely, to bring the detecting community together. But we'll talk about other detecting things that are going on in social media in a little bit.
You know, I got an email. You know the guy that does the X Factor?
Yep.
The Dixon. Yeah. He also does adverts for SCS and things like that.
Yeah.
I got an email from his management telling me to stop doing his voice.
Nice.
No word of a lie. All right.
Yeah.
As one of the things that I can do a pretty good, I think, X Factor guy.
Yeah.
Right. And people were hiring me to do it, and they got in touch and said, Peter's not happy about this. you know, you're losing him income. And I'm like, yeah, but you're going to charge $1,000 or 2 or 3 for a voiceover.
Yeah.
I'll probably do it
For a few
for a
beers.
tiny bit of that, you know, and in some cases, I'll do it for free.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's a pretty good accolade when the person you're impersonating tells you to stop doing it because they're scared
So,
that you're that good at doing it.
so did you stop doing it?
No,
No. So you still get the
no,
six-pack payments. There you go. There's a six-pack.
no. What I had to do was change the way that I advertise it.
Okay.
So in the past, I was just like Peter Dixon X Factor style voiceover. I had to change it to TV announcer
Oh, okay.
to keep it generic.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I had to do. It was either that or I think he would have probably taken me to court.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Imagine going to court. You know.
I
How
think
do you?
I think it would probably have got laughed out, to be fair, like, because
Yeah.
your voice isn't you don't own copyright to your voice, so you're not copywriting. So it's one of them,
Yeah.
isn't
How do you plead, Mr. Weedall? Not guilty.
it? Oh dear. I think that would be actually a comical little series, like a one episode series, the court episode inside the court. I think that would be good.
Yeah.
But so do you do any other TV or anything like that at the moment that we all might know or have heard you and not realised it?
A lot of the stuff that I've done, see, I get a lot for internet adverts. So a pop-up may come on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, these adverts that keep popping up. You might hear me on one of those. I get asked to do a lot of them. Corporate stuff.
Yeah.
The Voice of God I did for not actual God. It's just a phrase that means the voice that comes from above at an award ceremony.
Yeah.
I did Sussex Life, Surrey Life. I did the announcements for that. One thing that some of you probably won't, but some of you may remember was an advert that was going out on Sky on almost all of the channels for the Cancer Research UK Weekly Lottery costs just £1 per play per week. You could win big cash prizes and support a great cause. Yeah, so I've done TV adverts. So that was one that I did quite. That was everywhere.
Yeah.
And my mum and dad would say, "Heard you on telly again today." I'm like, "Okay, cool." You know, at first it was like, "Did you?"
Yeah.
But then after a few months, yeah, I heard it as well. Yeah, you kind of get used to it.
Yeah. Does anybody ever recognise your voice? Except your mum and dad?
No, but some people have suspected me of doing the voices for the tills at Poundland.
Nice. And did you?
Because no, at Christmas, they have a Santa.
Yeah.
On the till at Poundland, and it's unexpected item in the begging area, and it's not me; it's somebody else.
Yeah, that's good though.
So, but they say, "I heard you at Poundland on the tills."
Yeah.
I go, "Yeah, you probably did." Yeah.
Nice, I like it.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So we'll go back to metal detecting just now though. I'm going to ask you what's your most memorable find to date, and it can't be a good 2 pence. So your most memorable find.
I think the most memorable find, for me, I'd have to say, I think was one of my most memorables was the first Roman I ever found.
Yeah.
Now, it's only a grotty Roman, and it's only a small Roman, but it was my first, and I have to say that was thanks to Scott from Dirt Diggers UK, because I was out on the field. This was at Detectable, and this was Detectable last year.
Is this the one where Rob found his gold ring?
No, because I think that was Spring Detectable,
okay,
where Rob found that. And I was out, and I bumped into Dirt Diggers, and I said, "Look," I said, "I'm not having any luck here. You know, these fields are meant to be littered, but I'm not finding anything." and I was out with the cruiser, you know, and I'm used to using the cruiser.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with the cruiser, I'm used to digging decent numbers from like 45 and upwards.
Yeah.
So Scott said, well, what are you digging? And I said, well, you know, I'm digging this, that, and the other. And he goes, well, if you're looking for Romans, you need to search for numbers around 24, 25.
Yeah.
I was like, really? He said, yeah. So I was like, oh, you're joking.
Yeah.
So that was it. I marched off then, and I'm swinging away, and then boom, beep, 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 dig it up.
Yeah.
Tiny little Roman.
Nice.
I was made up. Yeah.
Always
Over the moon.
I always laugh at folk that say that though on different machines. Obviously, I don't know the number ranges a lot of different makers, but even with the Knox, they're like, yeah, I dig this certain number, and you're like, do you know dig the low numbers? Nah, it's trash, and it's like, well, no, gold comes in at like 5 upwards on in the low brackets, and like, oh yeah, I just ignore that. It's like, no, that's where your gold range is.
This is the thing about the Vanquish. This is what I need to. This is why I need to get a few hours in with the Vanquish, because, as you say, the numbers for a decent ring, a gold ring, can be as low as 5. You know, all the way up to like maybe 19.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm on the beach and I'm getting signals, and a ring comes in at a mid-tone as well, doesn't it? It doesn't ring in very high on the tones.
I don't think it rings very high. I would like to give you a definitive, but I've never found gold, so I'm not too sure. I'll put my gold Wen ring underneath it, and that's as close I've come to a gold ring. You know what I mean? It's my own gold ring. I throw it in the garden sometimes just to feel good that I found a gold ring. But...
So that's why I need to get out more with the Vanquish, and that's what I'm doing tomorrow, because I need to dig those low numbers, like I say, as low as 5.
Yeah.
You know, with a mid-tone. There's me thinking, oh, you know, you wouldn't touch that with a simplex.
Yeah.
You wouldn't touch it, but with the Vanquish, it could be a gold ring.
Yeah. Well, I've had scrap silver and everything coming as low numbers as that. You know what I mean? You find it, and it's the wee strands of silver and stuff come out that low a number, and you're just like, you totally don't expect it. Normally, at low numbers like that, I'm expecting somebody's wrapper or a cigarette packet foil or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And out pops a wee bit of scrap silver, and you're like, wow, okay. You just don't know what to do. Sometimes you're just like amazed. But to be fair, I don't dig by the VDI numbers. I generally dig by the tones. The VDI is just a reference, shall we say, a secondary look. But yeah, I generally dig by the tones. So that must where are we? Yeah. So what's your oldest find today? I keep losing my track here.
I think apart from the Roman, obviously, because that'll be like
a couple of thousand.
Yeah. So apart from the Roman, I think I've had a Saxon. Was it Saxon or was it just medieval? I've had a strap end as well.
Nice.
Again, that came out at Detectable, and it still had a little bit of the colour on it as well.
Yeah.
It looks a bit like it's got the pattern of like a fish on it.
Yeah.
And it's got red, like enamel in it and stuff. And again, that's a nice old find.
How many hammers and stuff have you got? Because generally you stick to beaches, don't you? Although we'll talk about that in a minute. Because you had me going for a second. I thought you were going to say the Vanquish was your confession that it was actually pretty poor, but no, your confession was you were sick of the beaches. You're just like, I'm sick fed up of the beach on your video. I was just like, I thought he was going to say that you preferred the simplex over the Vanquish. Yeah, I was just laughing. I thought it was funny. But yeah, so have you got a nice collection of hammers over your time, or is it mainly because obviously the beach? Zero.
Zero. I have not got a single hammered coin. I keep getting invited out on club digs.
Yeah.
Because they say to me, "You've not got a hammered. Come with us. We'll get you a hammered coin."
Yeah.
You know, we got fields where you'll get a hammered, and it's like, okay, but it's getting to them. It's a little bit of a pain at the moment because I don't drive.
Right.
So you know, I need to jump on the train, and then they pick me up from the station. Then I need to get back again. So, but yeah, the invites there. I've had invites to get on some permissions to find hammers, and I will do it as long as you know a lot of this COVID nonsense has calmed down and it's not as strict as it is and stuff like that. And it's a bit more relaxed. Then I'll jump on the train. I'll do some club digs. But no, I am still awaiting my first hammered coin.
That explains why I see in your videos then you're walking about with your detector, like the bit where you got harassed by dog walkers, and then there was the one
Mm.
where you went on the beach and your died. You had to go and walk to the shop for batteries. I was just laughing.
Yes,
Oh,
that's right.
yeah. Look,
That's right.
for angle detecting, I was laughing because we were obviously away at the weekend, and honestly, from the campsite, the hill was literally very almost a quite steep hill. And I
It
think he
was.
walked all the way up to where we were on the very top field, me and his dad. And as he was coming halfway up, his detector died. So he had to walk all the way back down for his batteries and walk all the way back up. Fair play to him,
Nightmare.
he was rewarded with a hammer. But I was just like, no way,
Yeah,
I'd have just gave up. I'd have went back to the tent, I think, because I was done by the Sunday up and down all the
yeah.
hills.
That was, yeah, the Vanquish rechargeable batteries. That was.
Yeah,
I'd done a couple of hunts, and they already went flat on me. So I was like, oh, great, brilliant. So now I buy batteries, and I've got spares in my bag.
yeah. Do you think with the new machines, I don't know, is the Simplex rechargeable? Or is that
Yes.
so? It's USB plug-in, is it?
Hmm. Yeah.
Do you think possibly with the Mind Labs that's where they missed out a little trick rather than the batteries and made it because every other detector that I know of the Mind Labs are rechargeables, but they brought out the Vanquishes and made
Do
them
you know
battery.
what? I'll be honest with you. It's. I think. I think they've done something quite clever there, because you look at an Ace 250.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how old are those machines now?
Oh yeah. Well, they were about
What?
2012 when I had it, so yeah,
Yeah, and they were out well before then as
yeah,
well, weren't they?
yeah. Oh yeah,
So you can use that same machine, the very first machine, you can still pick up, put a set of batteries in it, and use it today.
yeah,
No fuss, no bother, away you go. Considering you don't get it wet. As long
yeah,
as you don't get it wet. A lot of these new machines that are brand new, like the Apex,
yeah,
the Equinox, the Simplex, the Cruiser, give them 10 years, they won't be as in good shape as that Ace 250, because those internal batteries can only take so many charges.
yeah,
And if you've been out, if you're a hardcore detectorist and you're out twice a week, maybe 3 times a week, maybe more, and you're charging it, letting it run flat, charging it up, that battery is going to take a hammering. There is a guy, Metal Detecting NYC, who I've been watching, brilliant channel. He does a lot of beaches as well.
Who's that? Is
And
that
he also,
NYC?
yeah.
That
So he's out in America.
yeah,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that Merrill?
Yes, Merle.
Yeah, wants to make a million in out of metal detecting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's
Have
brilliant.
you seen the issues that he's had with his Equinox?
Yeah, well, I had talking about that. I I went out detecting and I came back and I put a plug. Obviously, it's a magnetic connection on the back. Connected it up, and then the light came on solid green, telling me it was fully charged. But I had
Mm.
two batteries. Like it was three battery symbols and I only had two lit, and it was telling me it was fully charged. I had to send that back and get it the new battery replaced in my STEMI, the control box. That's the word I was
Yeah.
looking for. Yeah, so they sent it back, but the man that deals with Steve Cox, absolute legend. I sent it off on the Monday, and it was fixed and sent back to me, and I had it back by the Thursday. So he only had it.
Wow.
So he's quite good. Check him out if you need anything for your Mind Labs, definitely.
Yeah. So Merle, he had this issue where it would get down to like he'd have 2 bars left on his Equinox, and it would keep rebooting.
Right.
He'd swing it a bit, and then it would just reboot again.
Yeah.
So I think what they've done with the Vanquish, even though it's made it non-waterproof because of the battery box,
Yep.
they've actually done something very clever there. They've made the machine future-proof, as it were, because as long as companies still make AA batteries, that machine will still run and run and run,
Yeah.
unless you get it wet, obviously.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of the new modern machines, those batteries are going to split, they're going to die, they're going to leak, who knows?
Yeah.
And you're going to need to completely replace the battery or find someone that can replace the
Yeah.
rechargeable battery for you,
Yeah.
if it can be.
See, Have you seen the CTX?
Yeah, I've seen
See,
it.
that's one thing I think they've done correct with the batteries, because obviously you can recharge the battery and it's a disconnect battery, but you get the same case and it's very light compared to the other one, and it's actually for batteries. So you actually load it up with your double A's. I think it takes about, I can't remember, about 12 batteries in this big box, and it allows you obviously to detect weight later. So the actual rechargeable battery is disconnectable.
Apparently, there is available soon for the Vanquish a rechargeable battery pack that is the same shape as the sort of like the cover for the Vanquish that just clips on to the back of the Vanquish, and you can use it as a rechargeable battery pack. So you can either put your double A's in and the cover, or take all that out and just clip on a battery pack, and it sits on there nice and snug. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's good to see how well that works. And apparently it lasts. They've been testing it, and it lasts for about 30 hours.
Nice. And is this coming from Minelab, or is this an aftermarket?
This is a third party. This is something somebody else has been developing.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if Minelab will jump on board with it later. That'll be interesting to see.
Well, if they see it being popular and see it going for an extortionate price, I'm pretty sure Minelab will jump on board. So, I mean, I won some tokens on Digger Dips. That's how I managed to get these wireless headphones for my Vanquish.
Yeah.
And the extra coil. I won some tokens on a podcast.
Yeah.
I put the tokens on Digger Dips. I won on Digger Dips, and it was like, right, what do I need? I need headphones.
Nice.
But if I was to buy these Minelab headphones, £140.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and it didn't matter where you went, £140.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I didn't. So, yeah, I thought I'll go for that.
Yeah.
You know, what do I need? I need headphones.
Definitely. You'll have to do a wee tester again on one of your beach videos of how these headphones work with the Vanquish.
I did. I used them on my latest video. I took them out and used them, and I think also that's why I had such a good hunt, because there was no wires.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting tangled up every time I was trying to scoop. You know, it was so much easier. So much easier.
I must admit though, I was using the wireless module with mine, but I've actually turned it to Bluetooth with the Nox. But I didn't realise that. So how long have I had the Nox now? Just over a year. That actually my headphones, if you pair them, they work with your phone as well. It cuts out your machine, so you can talk on your headphones. So I thought this was brilliant. The only problem is now I have to switch my phone into airplane mode because it interferes with my Nox. So it's a kind of catch-22 really, to be fair. But nah, not too bad. Anyway, we're on the two pences, and then we'll talk about your two pences before we go for a small interval. But you do find a lot of small two pences on the beaches, and even when you went on land, you picked up a 2 pence. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I get them everywhere I go. I can't get away from.
Do you think
I think. Go on, what you say?
Do you think you've got a rare machine that it disregards everything else and comes and only finds 2 pences for you?
No, it happened to me even when I had a Garrett Ace 250. It happened with the Garrett. It happened with the Cruiser. It's happening with the Simplex. The Vanquish doesn't find the modern ones because the iron core, and it doesn't like them as much.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe it's just because of the numbers. You know, if you get a decent old 2P that is just decent metal, decent copper, they ring up really high. You know, 80s, 90s. So you think to yourself, well, that could be a silver ring.
Yeah.
So you start digging down, bloody 2P. You know, and it's you just can't get away from them. So, yeah, I've got to dig them now. Even if I know it's going to be a 2P, I have to dig them.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't, I would get comments saying, "Well, you didn't get any 2Ps today."
Oh.
Yeah, I know. So I'll try harder next time.
It's funny because you've come up with a saying every time you find them, bugger.
Bugger.
Yeah. how do you feel? Because when you look at other YouTubers now, and other folk, even just generally, even out in the field that aren't YouTubers, I've heard a couple say it as well. You go out and I found 2p, bugger. How do you feel when you hear folk actually say 2p, oh bugger? Because they say it without actually trying to copy you type thing. They're just saying it now. It's like, oh bugger.
Yeah, it's just habit now, isn't it? It's a habit for a lot of people. It's habit for me. It's habit for people who watch my videos because it just gets drummed in there. So you'll be out in the field, you'll be out on the beach. I watched a video today. Well, I watch a lot of videos every day.
Yeah.
But this evening I watched Mark, the metal detective. He was out with Dave, dirt diver Dave.
Yeah.
And he found a couple of 2Ps, and instinctively, without even mentioning my name, instinctively he said, "Oh, it's a 2P, bugger." And I just thought, yes.
You've got something
and then
that's got.
Another one. He found another one. He was like, "There you go. That's for South Coast Detecting, bugger."
Yeah.
And I love that. I love the fact that that's a sort of connection that I've got with the people that watch. It's in there.
Yeah.
So you find 2P, and instinctively you just bugger. Love it. Absolutely love it. I love it.
I think when you watch your videos as well, because I find it funny because you say, "Oh, I found another 2p," and then it's like a second, and then it's like bugger, and I just laugh at it because it's that pause, and then it's like bugger. When you find it, I'm just like brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
It first came about because I think the first lot of 2Ps I was chasing, I think some of them were quite deep, and the ground may have been hard, and you've put up a fight, you find it, and you think, "Oh, what's this? Oh, it's going to be a lovely old coin. Nice George V.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe even a Vicky." Oh,
yeah.
There's 2P.
Some of the digging, because you see some of the conditions. Obviously for yourself, you're not. I wouldn't say you're not too bad, but you're on shingle and stuff. But you see some of them that are absolutely digging through, like it looks like concrete, just the rocks. They hit rocks and they're bringing out big boulders just to get to a shotgun shell or a 2 pence.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow, how did it get there in the first place underneath the big rocks?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a lot of people I've seen on the beach digging through clay.
Wow.
But the thing is, if the target is in the clay, there's every chance it's going to be a nice old target because it's been there for a while. So it hopefully is worth it. But yeah, man alive, I'm not sure I'd enjoy digging through clay.
No.
Not for a 2P.
Could you imagine that though? Digging actually, I don't know, a foot into the ground and then through the clay and you're like, this is going to be good. 2p. Right. I don't think bugger would be the word. I think something else would be coming out. Maybe a broken spade.
I'd probably just stamp on it.
Brilliant. What we're going to do now is we're just going to go for a short interval and let Arron go for a wee rest, shall we say, interval break and a refreshment top up. And we will catch. So check out the channels that you're about to see, and we'll catch you after the interval, folks.
Hello all, Arron here from South Coast Detecting. Now if you find yourself at a loose end with nothing else to do, I mean absolutely nothing else to do, you're at the point where you're just thinking of pulling out your own teeth just for something to do, then why not head over to my channel, South Coast Detecting, and check it out. I mean it's not quite as bad as pulling teeth, it's not far off, but it might be entertaining. Check it out, you never know.
Hello, and welcome to our metal detecting channel. Join us on our adventures as we attempt to find some of Britain's lost hidden treasures. We have managed to secure some absolutely breathtaking land and permissions throughout the UK. We are history fanatics, we are always ready. We are Dave and Tom, we are the Detectives.
Phil Griff, El Campo Detectorist here. If it's for you, come and join me on the Costa Blanca, out on the beaches, even up in the mountains. Got some cracking videos to go through. Just pop over to my channel, El Campo Detectorist. If you like, thumbs up, like and subscribe.
Oi, oi! Thanks for coming, nice to see you. Name's Phil, Southeast Detecting. If you want to come and join me, have a look at my channel. I use the Simplex, boom. Loads of finds. I found Viking, Roman, come and check me out. Have a look at my channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Come and join me on my adventures, digging around the English countryside, looking for Britain's lost history. Southeast Detecting, be there.
Southeast Detecting Productions.
I don't know what that's.
Hello and welcome back, everyone. Welcome back, Arron.
Hello there. You all right? Sorry, let me just turn my phone down. I was just enjoying the adverts and all the different channels.
Yeah, it is good. If anybody has any small clips in that, just email me. My email's there, and I'll add your clips in as well for a little bit of channel promotion if you want that as well. So, Arron, with all your finds back into the detecting, this earphone's echoing in my ear. What do you actually do with your finds? Do you display them, hide them, or do you actually?
When I first started out, I put all my coins into a coin book.
Yeah.
You know those coin books that you can get. You know, And I got to a point where I had so many, I thought I can't keep buying coin books. So I've got one coin book full of like old pennies, Georges, things like that, and another. I've got a case now, the one from is it Lidl?
Yeah.
I think it's Lidl, with all my silvers in it.
Nice.
No hammers yet, but yeah, I've got all my silvers in there. So yeah, I keep them, I clean them, I put them in a little keepsake sort of type of thing. I've got top of the fridge. I've got an old Quality Street tin full of toy cars off the beach.
Ah.
So I keep everything.
Nice.
And out in the shed, I think I've got a tub full of sunglasses.
Oh, have you found any decent sunglasses on the beach?
Not expensive ones, no.
Yeah.
I've had a decent pair of binoculars off the beach.
Nice.
Which I have promised to give to Mudmax, metal detecting, if I ever been to him. I've told him he can have them. Also, I found a watch as well, just sitting on the pebbles. You know, obviously someone's gone down there, took it off, maybe gone for a swim, forgot to put it on.
Yeah.
And when I checked online, I think it was worth at the time about £150 brand new.
Wow.
For what it was. But yeah, I've found a few nice bits at the beach.
So what do you do with all your 2 pences though? Because you must have a few now.
Well, my spendables go into I've got a Tupperware tub.
Yeah.
Full of all my spendables. I put all the pounds, the 50s, all the silvers go into a bag.
Yeah. And
the pounds and everything. And then all the 1s and 2s go into the Tupperware box. So they're all in the same thing, but they're separated.
Yeah.
And I think at the moment, there's quite a lot in there. And when it gets too full, I'm going to take it down the supermarket and either like cash it all in at the change machine, or I've been toying with the idea of giving it to a charity.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Purely because I don't need it. I'm not saying that I'm minted. I'm just saying it's sitting on top of the fridge.
Yeah.
If I haven't spent it now, I don't need to spend it, you know?
Yeah.
So why don't I got a good day out of it. I got a decent video out of it. I don't need it. Do I go and give it to the local lifeboat station that is just around the corner from the beach where I detect, or go in there and say, look, I got this bag of cash for your charity, for your lifeboat, because obviously they are aren't funded by the government, even though they are emergency service.
Yeah.
They're not funded by the government.
It's kind of weird, isn't it?
So I think that is probably what I'm going to end up doing with it. Either that or some sort of other charity. But yeah, I will probably end up giving it to someone.
That, to be fair, the RNLI is a good cause, especially down because of them. You'll have them on your beaches probably as well. There's probably a few in the heat that get rescued by them as well. What is it we say? A thankless job, shall we say?
Yes.
But no, that sounds like a good wee idea. So when it comes to, you've got a few permissions and you've said you've got like permits for the council grounds. Do you have any farmland permissions as well?
I haven't got any farmland permissions purely because I'm late in the game. I joined the detecting community far too late.
Yeah.
There are some hardcore detectorists in Sussex that have been doing it for years.
Yeah.
And even though I'm surrounded by fields and we got the South Downs and we got this, that and the other and all these brilliant fields, the thing is, someone's beat me to them. Yeah. Nearly all of them. You know, there may be the odd one or two that hasn't been done.
Yeah.
But they don't allow detectorists because there is one just round the corner from me. I could literally walk to these fields and be detecting on them within 5 minutes of me walking from my house.
Yeah.
But he's got a Roman villa on his site.
Right.
So it's like, no chance. You know?
Yeah.
Can't go on. You know, and even though you say, well, I won't go anywhere near it, you know, you just tell me what fields I can have and I'll leave that well alone.
Yeah.
Not interested. Not interested. So, you know, you sort of bugger.
Yeah.
But the other permission I have is the Led Zeppelin house.
Nice.
So a friend of a friend bought a mansion that was owned by Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
And connected to that mansion is a a decent amount of land, and a massive field. But the thing is, he doesn't use it for anything. He's not a farmer.
Yeah.
He just owns a big house. So he's got this massive field doing nothing. Couple of fields along, there is a Roman a Roman settlement that's obviously you can't go anywhere near, but his field is fair game, and it's really that close.
Nice.
He can't rent it out to any farmers, because to get access to this field, you have to come through a very small track through a little village,
Okay.
and none of the villages will allow a load of cows through there.
Okay.
So he's just stuck with this big field with nothing to do. He can't do anything with it. So that's part of the permission I've got.
Right. So
Problem being, it's bloody miles away.
And you don't drive.
No. So I need to find someone who can come with me to detect it, and then plan ahead and just pre-warn him and say, right, can we come on this day? And if he says, yeah, that's fine, then do it. Unfortunately, it's just not one that I can go, let's go.
When you say miles away, how many miles?
From where I am, I'd say it's possibly 45 minutes to an hour drive.
Right. Oh well, it's too far then. I was going to say you could have been like Merrill off NYC and got on a wee electric scooter and just off you go.
Oh, it is a good journey away, good distance.
Yeah.
Sadly,
You might need
I will turn to it.
You might have needed a couple of extra batteries for your scooter if you were to try that journey. I don't know if you'd have.
God, I'd have to set off the day before.
Yeah, a camping night. Nice.
Yeah.
So that's what you're thinking now, isn't it? A nice wee camping night on the permission. So with your council permissions, did you do research into like any of the parks or anything like that to see what would be the better parks, as in older parks, if you know what I mean, or any that were used for maybe old fairs or things like that?
Yeah. There was a couple that are still used even to this day for travelling fairs, and that is one of the ones that we've had a lot of silver off, a lot of pennies, half pennies, rings, things like that. But unfortunately, it's no longer on the permit. There was something that happened.
Yeah.
And one of the football pitches got dug up.
Yeah.
I don't know who by. It was somebody that obviously hadn't read their permit correctly and gone and started digging up a football pitch. So the council got wind of it and said, right, any of the permits that have got football pitches are now off the permit.
Okay.
If you turn up and there's a football pitch, you are no longer allowed on it. Now, as annoying as that is, I have to say fair play to the council, because they could have said, right, we're pulling the plug, full stop, no more.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They said, all right, carry on. Just don't go on any that have got pitches on. So, that was fair enough of them. So sadly, you can't get on them now. But there are some there is one park that was part of this farmer's land that's got the villa on it.
Yeah.
There is now a dual carriageway through the centre of this. So on one side of the dual carriageway is the farmer's fields and the villa.
Yeah.
On the other side, there is now a housing estate and a park.
Okay.
Problem being, it is quite a quiet park. You don't get a lot out of it, and what you do get is modern. But I did get a crotal bell out of it.
Are you binding me up?
No, straight up. only part of a crotal bell, not a full one.
Okay.
But yeah, if you look back on some of my old videos, I go to the park and expecting to find pound coins and stuff, and I'm digging down. Crotal bell. I was like, what?
Yeah.
In the middle of a park. This is brilliant. And then, you look back and it's like, well, of course, aerial views. This used to be part of farmland, a part of this guy's permission, this guy's land.
Yeah.
It's just now got a really great big road going through the centre of it.
Nice.
So that's somewhere I need to go back to, but I need to go back there when it's wet.
Right.
Because I think the stuff that's going to be there is going to be deep.
Yeah, probably. just with the nature of using crotal bells. But it's funny you mentioned that, because at the weekend, I travelled all the way down south, across the border,
Yep.
into England,
Wow.
and I went there for, my intention was to try and find a crotal bell. That because it's my number one bucket lister. So I was on the hunt. And well, we started off on Saturday, and we Luke and his dad, and Luke was going round the perimeter, and his dad was like, "I'm walking that way," and I says, "Yeah, I'll walk that way with you." So obviously Luke's dad must have been about 10 yards in front of me, and it must have been about his fourth hole. And he's like, shouts me over, and he's like, "Have a look at this," and he just shows me the ball, and it's distinctive. The minute I seen that rim, I was just like, "You have got to be kidding me!" And he's like, "Oh, hold on." So Luke came over, and Luke opened it, and yeah, true enough, he had a ringer, and I was like, absolutely stunning. I never found it, but I got to see one get found and pulled out of the ground, so I was quite happy. Like, went all the way there and got to see a crotal bell. I was like, happy with that. I've never found one. I don't know what it is. I just want to find a ringer. I'm like, yeah, okay. And but nice little pattern on the bottom and everything. I was just well amused. I was like, yep, that's made my weekend. I'm like happy.
Yeah. It's like watching a lot of people's videos. You'll see them pull out a thimble, or a crotal bell, and you think, oh wow, I'd love to find a little thimble, and then you do, and it's like, whoa, you got a thimble, and then a little bit of a crotal bell comes out. It's not a ringer, but it was like just less than half.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is brilliant.
Did you...
I need to start watching videos now where they're pulling out gold rings, because then maybe I'll pull out a gold ring. Definitely.
Did you have design on your crotal bell? Did you have the initial marks?
I think there was a very, very minimal pattern. I think it's quite an old one.
Yeah.
It's not that fancy. You've got the top.
Yeah.
You've got part of the side where the hole is.
Yeah.
And then as it comes down to the it's kind of like, that's where it's all kind of broken off.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a crotal, but it's quite a crude one, as it were.
It amazes me with crotal bells and coins and different like relics as well that are found, especially in arable land, because obviously you've got a big, heavy, especially modern day, heavy machinery ripping through the ground, and some of them come out absolutely one piece, untouched, and it's like, how did you manage to avoid that plough? You know what I mean? And they come out in spectacular, and then others, like you say, have just been destroyed by it. It's just been hit and demolished. It's like, oh, okay. But it's still nice to find anyway, all the same.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, were you detecting the beaches, the majority of the beaches, what would you say you enjoy most about the hobby? And why?
Do you know, there are a couple of aspects I like about the hobby. One of the main aspects is the people.
Yeah.
And I know this is going to sound cheesy, and I'm even including Rob Random in this, but the people that you meet, the people you talk to, the stuff that you see coming out, the advice that you can get from other people, the community. It's a great community. It has its bad eggs, as any sort of hobby does, but it's a great community. And yeah, I like all that. I like that. That's one of the... See, with ghost hunting, it was so different.
Yeah.
Especially when you started working for Phil, for the events and things. That was very, very dog eat dog. A lot of backstabbing going on in the paranormal world.
Yeah.
Very, very weird. But in detecting, it's nice. It's good.
Yeah.
Good people.
Yeah.
And I like getting out, the fresh air. I was been watching the Detectorist today, actually, and something came up in that where they said, oh yeah, the Detectorist is usually what's the word? What's the word I was after? Sort of like a lone wolf, sort of like, likes to hunt alone.
Okay.
And I thought, yeah. I mean, a lot of people do go out in clubs and groups and all that, but it is just nice to get out on your own.
Yeah.
Bit of me time, good few hours, fresh air, nice bit of walking.
Yeah.
Lovely.
I've got to laugh because I'm the same. I enjoy the social aspect and the folk that you meet.
Yeah.
But I do like going out myself. I think it's a good way just to clear the head. Thoughts are your own.
Yes. Yes.
Just out there. I think it is a good hobby for your mental state as well. To be fair, like I absolutely love it, and keeping fit.
Indeed.
Because if I didn't, I'd probably be a wee Teletubby. To be fair. But yeah. Oh, thank you very much, Rob Random, as well, for that little donation. Much appreciated. He donated a little pound and it came up there when you were talking away
Lovely.
there. So thank you very much for that. So the equipment that you use on the beach and stuff, is there obviously we are what do you call it, the sand scoop and things like that. What equipment would you say is essential for beach detecting? Obviously, we land, we're always like spade, your pinpointer. Do you have one that you would say is essential? Obviously, detector's essential, or else you're not going to go detecting. But equipment-wise,
yeah, your pinpointer not necessarily, because you could still find it without your pinpointer. It may take you slightly longer, but if it was a toss-up between the spade and the scoop, I definitely have to say the scoop.
yeah,
Because if you're digging on the wet sand and you've got a target that is a good, maybe let's say 7-8 inches down, maybe more,
yeah,
as it very often is on the beach, that is filling up with water and the side of the hole is collapsing in. So even though you've taken out 3 or 4 scoops, it's then really shallow because it's all caving in on itself.
right.
So, and with a spade, you're not getting out as much. It's not like in a field, you can't just like do a clod.
No.
You've really got to go for it, and you've got to go for it quick.
Yeah.
If you're in the proper wet sand. So a scoop, I would say, is essential. If you are a beach detector and you haven't got a scoop, definitely invest in a scoop.
Yeah. I invested in one. I found it pretty good. But do you use? I see some, because obviously I'm not a beach detectorist. I've only just been I've done a couple of beaches when I first started, but I mainly do land, and I've just started this year. I've been out a couple of times. I think I messaged you about a sand scoop anyway, but
yeah,
I've seen a few other videos and stuff like that, YouTubers, and they put magnets at the bottom, obviously, so that it attracts. Do you put a magnet at the bottom of yours as well, so that you know roughly where it'll be if the magnet catches it?
No, I did look at that, and I did think about doing that.
Yeah.
Because of the scoop, obviously, it's like it's not attracted to magnets.
Right.
So you would have to fasten it in there, either bolt it in or wire it in or do something, glue it in. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it is something I've thought about doing. But the way, because I've only just started doing the wet sand,
Yeah.
and I've only properly, like I said, done one hunt on the wet sand, I've not had as much of a problem with it.
Yeah.
I've not found it to be much of a problem yet.
Okay.
Tomorrow may be different. I may have a different opinion on it when I've been out tomorrow. But yeah, if I think that it's going to help, definitely.
Yeah.
But then again, you see a gold ring or a silver ring, things like that.
Yeah, it won't stick to it.
Won't stick to it. So kind of pointless, really.
Yeah. True. With the beach detecting and that, I know you said you've only done the wet sand once. What advice would you give folk that are starting out beach detecting? Where, like, how to search or where to search? Would you say a beach?
Okay, so what I would do, if you are down there and the tide is in, think about where you would sit.
Yeah.
Where would you sit? If the tide is in and you're only doing the shingle or the part of the beach that doesn't get wet, where would you sit? Think about where you would sit and do that line going across.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to sit there, chances are other people are going to sit there as well. And that's where they're going to lose their bits and bobs. And once you've done a couple of lines, go slightly higher or slightly lower.
Yeah.
Then maybe do as Metal Detecting NYC Merle does, do a V formation, top to bottom, going along until you find a point where you may find a gathering, and then follow that line.
Ah.
And on the wet sand, same again. But on the wet sand, what I would say is, this is what put me off. The fact that on my beach, where I go, the expanse is massive.
Okay.
It is huge.
Yeah.
It is as big as a decent field. And it's going to take you hours to cover it. And you haven't got hours because the tide's coming in.
Yeah.
Do the V formation, as Merle says. You start from the high tide line, going down to the low tide line, and then back up. And as you do the V formation, you'll find a point where you'll get something. And then, same with mudlarking on the Thames, gathers with like. If you find a load of little pins on the Thames,
Yeah.
look around, you'll find a load more. Buttons, coins, same sort of thing on the beach. Get something and do a circle outwards.
Right.
You know, like a swirl out.
Kind of
coil.
yeah.
Yeah, and then follow that line. But I would definitely persist. Give yourself a good couple of runs out on the wet sand. You know, you don't get disheartened.
Yeah. I found
It's going to be very easy to get disheartened, but it's there. You just got to really go for it and really just give it a go.
Yeah. I've got to laugh because I've been I went out with Scottish Relics on the beach. I met up with Scottish Relics on one of the beaches for one of my videos, and I done the beach myself. But every time I try and do footage, I come back and I make myself sick with the footage because as I've got the sand scoop and I'm giving it a shake, the GoPro's like this and the footage is all over. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not putting that on YouTube. I'll just make everybody sick. Yeah. Exactly. I'm just like, yeah, that's not good footage. You know what I mean? So how do you come around? How do you get around that?
What camera are you using on your chest mount?
GoPro 5 Black.
Are they heavy? Would you say they were heavier than an iPhone 6 Plus?
No, I think my, because I've got a Samsung, you see, as well. But I would say it's lighter than the Samsung.
Right. So the way to get over that is tighten your straps.
Okay.
If it's shaking about, it's too loose. It's elasticated, but if it's shaking, it's far too loose. Tighten your straps, keep it close to your chest, and then when you're shaking it, you may still get a little bit of movement because your body's moving. But your camera should sit nice and still.
I'll give that a try the next time I'm on.
And that is a tip for anyone out there that is filming their finds.
Yeah.
If you're not using a tripod, I know there's a lot of people out there that do. They set the camera up on a tripod, point out the hole, and then they dig it or whatever. Brilliant. But if you're not doing that and your hands free and you're like, oh, hang on, I can't film it because I've got to get a chest mount. Then your hands free. You've got both hands available. You can still dig, you can still search. And it baffles me when I see so many people not doing that. You know, get a chest mount. They're only you can get it for less than about £8 with the right connection.
Yeah, that's what I've got. I've just noticed there's a question in the chat actually from Mr. Stephen Pettican. Have you ever won a trophy for metal detecting? I'm guessing this is a Stephen Pettican trophy.
I think I've won 3.
Oh, 3 trophies.
Stephen Pettican trophies.
Oh.
Yes. One of them was for being the 2p king.
Yeah, I think I've seen that. You got presented that detectable, didn't you?
Yeah, and the other 2, one of them I think was ring pulls. I think was one of them that I've had from him.
Nice.
I think it was a golden ring pull trophy. And the other one was, I think it was more just a participation medal because it was my first detectable.
Oh, nice.
So, I don't think he could think of anybody else to give it to. So I think I won that by default.
Nice.
So I've got 3 of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's talking about. Also, I'm still looking through the footage for the weekend. You're on about Ringpool King. I'm still, because I've gained that much footage for clip wise for the weekend. I'm still looking through it, trying to decide what I'm going to put in a video. But everybody there must have had a horde of bag seals. I've never seen a field with so many bag seals.
Wow.
Because I walked away with 21 bag seals, and the others were walking away with 20 odds or 15 odds. Folk just stopped digging the numbers the bag seals were coming in with. because there was that many on this field. It was unbelievable. I've never seen, and they were all used as well.
You see, so this is one of those things. Like you say, you've always wanted to find a crotal bell, a ringing crotal bell.
Yeah.
I'd love to find a bag seal. I've never had a bag seal.
Have you not?
You know, I've never had one single bag seal yet, and I know I may regret saying that.
Yeah.
I may end up getting loads at some point.
Oh yeah.
But I've never had one, you know, and that's something that I'm looking forward to finding. Even though it's just a bag seal, looking forward to getting my first one.
Yeah. I've got one there. I'll tell you the best ones I find are Russian, to be fair.
All right.
Just no. Now you've got me getting the fines box. I've got a ton of musket balls as well.
Oh, I've had a few musket balls. Yeah, I've had a couple of them.
Don't know if you'll be able to see it. I'll try and show you, but or you might have to look at the I think it's got to hide with the screen. But on it there's a date.
Oh, yeah,
so they actually put a date on it. So that one was like 1818, I think that one was. So they actually put the date on the bag seals. I quite like them because they come up in quite good condition.
Yeah.
And that one there, it's about the size of, well, probably a 2p, but that's the biggest bag seal I've found so far.
Even though it's all obviously poisonous lead,
yeah,
it's still a lovely little find.
Yeah, definitely. It is, but I like finding things like that. Do you know what I mean? Just lead with designs on that. A lot of folk just disregard, but no, I love finding little things like that. I also love finding spoons as well. Every dig, I think, after lockdown, I found a spoon, and I went to obviously the weekend, and I managed to pick up a Tudor spoon, a big pewter Tudor spoon. I was like, wow. I says, every time I get a spoon.
Now, if you're going to go to Detectable, let's say next year, if things are going back to normal, hopefully. They might not.
Yeah.
Touch wood. Hopefully they will.
Yeah.
But if you end up going to Detectable and Stephen Pettican gets wind of it, you're going to get a trophy with a spoon on it.
Well, wait, see on that one. But yeah.
I can see it coming. I can just picture it now. Giving him an idea now. See?
Yeah, a big wooden spoon. Definitely. So, obviously, on the beaches as well, back to your beach detecting, you can go through quite a few dry spells, can't you? On beaches of not fine. How do you cope with that? Obviously, we've seen you saying your confession, I'm sick to death. But that wasn't due. Was that due to dry spells, or was that just due to other folk coming down? And because you were getting up at 5:30 in the morning, and
the video I put out where it was like the last beach hunt for a while. That's because that was the frame of mind I was in. That is the mood I was in. I know that I'm gonna look like a dare I say, a mad ass, but it was because I was getting down there super early to try and find something decent, not just for me, but for the people that watch my videos. You know, I don't want to put out a video that's got a load of rubbish in it. I want people to be entertained by the videos, you know, and interested by the videos. So I always try and do my best for them, which is why I'm up at 5 in the morning. I'm not really doing it for me, or else I'd stay in bed, you know.
Yeah.
So you get down there and you find holes everywhere. You think, oh, okay, that's fair enough, because they can't cover every single inch of that beach.
No. You see it?
Same as I can't.
Yeah.
So I'm going to miss stuff. They're going to miss stuff. But when you see the hole, and then you see the bottle cap next to the hole, or the ring pull next to the hole, and you think to yourself, that's just lazy.
Yeah.
That is, take it with you. The bin is just there up on the promenade. Literally, you could dump your finds bag of rubbish in the bin as you go back to your car.
Yeah.
And that's what got me fed up.
Yeah, I see that. Do you know when you go on like group digs or rallies, as I found with that one, I was finding them doing that. You'd go over a hole, and then you would find they're either crap at the side of it or in the hole. And I was lucky enough, actually, I was like, it was that good a signal. I says, I'm going to have to dig this. And I dug it, and as I pulled it out, Luke was like, it's just fell out. And they had missed a Queen Elizabeth the second penny, it fell out the hole. Why they left it in the hole, I was just like, wow. You know what I mean? Or they've just looked at it and went, too modern, and put it back. I was just like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take it though. I was like, yeah, I'm happy with that.
So that's just ridiculous. I'm happy. I'm made up. If I go on a dig and I get an old penny, whether it's an early '60s Queen Victoria
Yeah,
penny, or whether it's like an Edward VII, or even a Vicky penny, or anything like that, or George III, you know, I'm made up.
Yeah.
If I've got a pre-decimal, made up.
yeah, I'm the same. I even get a bag seal. I'm happy. I'm like, yeah, that's made my days digging. I'm happy with a bag seal. Like, I don't have to go out and find the old hammers and that. It's just something different, isn't it? It's history. You're recovering. It's all good.
As you were saying though about the dry spell on the beach, when the summer comes around, it's lovely because you know you're going to have some good stuff. You know that it's ring season. You're going to get rings. People say, well, you got to search on the wet sand for the rings. People don't lose them on the dry sand, but they do.
Yeah.
They take them off, and then they go swimming, and they forget to pick them up or whatever.
Or flap their towel.
Yes, but you do when you have a dry spell and it's out of season and people aren't hitting the beach. We're talking November, January, stuff like that. You do get storms, and the storms that you get in winter, they churn up the beach. They drag all those pebbles back out. They expose all that sand. And that's what I like about the beach. It's always changing. It's always different, There was a guy who doesn't do much at the moment, and I'm hoping he's going to make a return because I really miss the guy. It was Ben, the giant Garrett detectorist. He's not been on for a long, long time, bless him, and he is missed by a lot of people. But he went down to his beach after there'd been a storm, and you could see the mark on the wall where like a foot of sand had been dragged out.
Wow.
And in that one morning, I think he got either close to or just over 100 pre-decimal coins.
Wow.
In one hunt. It was like, wow.
That is a hunt and a half.
Yeah. Top bloke as well. It's a shame he's not on at the moment. He was a very, very good bloke.
Yeah. I think I'd love a day like that. I've had one where and it was when I first gained, when I moved to the house I'm in now, and went across and I got permission for the fields across the road, and I managed to pick up, it must have been about 16 pre-decimal pennies and half pennies in this field, and all I had done was walked one line, and by the time I got to the end, I'd been out about 3 hours, and I was like, oh, I better go back home. Do you know what I mean? So I only walked one line, and I picked them all up. Then I went out the next time and walked a different line, and I found, I think, one. I was just like, oh, I must have hoovered them all up. You know what I mean? But I still go over the same field, and I'm still finding them now. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter how many times I've been over that area, I'm still finding them. So they are missed. I think it all goes down to, like you say, wet soil, the weather, and I think time of day. I don't know if it's because you're tired at the end of the day, so you swing slower, but you seem to find different things at different times of the day, or that just might be me.
It's like you say, there's a park, literally a 5-minute walk from me. I can't go on it anymore because there's a football pitch on it. But I went on there several times with the Garrett, found loads of pre-decimals, silvers, things like that. Nell Tornado, found again loads of pre-decimals, loads of silvers. Went on there with a cruiser. Again, and it's a really small park, but it just kept giving and giving and giving every time. I did one video where all I did was went round the base of a bush. That's all I did, the base of a bush, a tree, and I had silvers, I had pre-decimals, I had like a medal, some sort of medal came out of there with some general on it or something, just from the bottom of a bush. It's amazing what you find if you just slow down that little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Take your time. Cover as much as you can.
Nice, I like it. So you're obviously beach detecting, and you go beach detecting all the time. When you go on family holidays and vacations, do you sneak a metal detector in to do the beach?
No, she won't let me.
Is that one of the...
I even said, look, I'll take the Go Find.
Yeah.
It's really small. It'll fit in the boot. It'll fit in the suitcase. No, No.
Yeah.
But we're going to have a day on the beach. Yes, a day on the beach, a family day on the beach. You're not? Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
We were meant to be going France this year,
Yeah.
but because of COVID and everything. So we're looking at maybe going next year. So I said, can I take the scuba detector? Can I get like the pulse dive?
Yeah.
You know, so that I can have a little swim and just search around, you know, a little bit or something. No.
I bet.
I said, no, because I don't think you can detect on the beaches in France. I said, I've checked. This one I can. No.
You'd have been in the bad books for that one. Have you ever done that though? Have you ever, because you're on the beach, have you ever thought about doing the UK beaches with the pulse dives or anything like that? You attempted it?
No, I've got one.
Yeah.
I've got one. I've got the pulse dive. But the beach where I am,
Yeah.
when you get to the bottom of the shingle,
Yeah.
it is then flat, and it is flat for a long, long way.
Yeah.
Seriously long way. So if I was to do it while the tide was in, I might as well do it with a detector.
Okay.
And when the tide goes right out, it goes out so far that anything out there hopefully would have been lost between the shingle and where it's about a quarter of a mile.
Wow.
You know, from the beach to where it goes
Yeah.
out. It's a massive expanse.
Yeah.
So it really wouldn't be that productive for me.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think.
See that? I know you say don't get disheartened, but if I lived on a beach like that, it would be disheartening because you couldn't even grid it. You know what I mean? You couldn't say I'm going to do that little bit,
No.
and then tomorrow I'm going to do that bit because the tide's got to come in, take it away, and then you're like back to square one. I'm going to grid that bit again, and off you go. You know what I mean? It's just going to be like Groundhog Day.
That's the good thing though, because it's like you'll go to your permission, you'll go to your field, and you'll say, right, well, I know I've done that corner, I've gridded that corner, there's nothing there, I've had everything out of it.
Yeah.
But when you go to the beach, you can go there now and you can say, I wonder what's going to be here. It's going to be brand new, completely different every time you go because of the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
Where you may have gridded before and had a few bits, it's completely different.
No.
You know, it changes every day.
Wow. Yeah, that is a true point. It's kind of like, shall we say, I'll say once a year, or maybe even twice, depending on what's been seeded, is the stubbles when it's harvested because it gets ploughed up. The field, it might be nothing one year, and then it might be productive the next again year.
Yeah, there you go. So it's like when the farmer comes out and he's just ploughed, and you're like, oh yes.
Yeah, everybody loves the harvest, shall we say. It is good. Especially if you've got that kind of land. Unfortunately for me, mine is all pasture, so I'm stuck with pasture. But I do like the pasture.
I like pasture.
Yeah. So do you have a bucket list of it that you would wish to find? I know you play beach bingo with Lucas and all that, but do you have a bucket list that you want to find, whether that be from land or beaches, or is there something that you want to, like, say top 5 items? What would make it?
Every now and then I keep finding stuff off the bucket list. When I first started, it was like an old Vicky Penny.
Yeah.
Had it. A nice big fat silver half crown. I got 2 in the same week.
Wow.
From the same park, about 10 foot apart from each other.
Yeah.
But at the moment, one of the things on my bucket list, one of the things that's high on my bucket list, for some reason, I don't know why, is a cartwheel penny.
Now, you were on Luke's live stream on Facebook, weren't you?
Yeah.
And you might have heard him say there, man, like we were talking earlier, my number one's a bucket lister. And I was 10 yards away from Luke's dad when he pulled the crotal bell out, which was nice to see. The next again day, Luke's dad's bucket lister is a cartwheel penny. And I think Luke was saying they went through the bag seal field where all the bag seals were, and he pulled out a cartwheel penny in front of his dad. It was just so that everybody was pulling bucket listers in front of everybody, but it wasn't their bucket list, it was the person watching's bucket list. It was like, I've got it. So I was just laughing when you're saying that. But cartwheel penny, yeah. I've found a few actually, to be fair. A few, as in a few for me is a couple, 3, 4 maybe. cartwheel pennies. But the problem is with cartwheel pennies in the soil that I dig, there's very, very little detail. You see some on like eBay and things like that absolute stunning detail, and they're like found at metal detecting. And mine, you can hardly see the bust, and Britannia's gone, the date's gone. It's like, well, okay, and it's all cruddied. I'm just like,
it's the same for poor old Lucas that you say there. Lucas and the Grim Bleeper and Addicted to Bleeps, they're in the same area.
yeah,
And when they're pulling coins out, they are just awful.
yeah,
Absolutely awful. But when I pull a coin out the field, out of a park,
yeah.
they come out stunning, lovely green, absolutely lovely coins.
Oh yeah.
And I suppose that's all the pesticides and stuff, is it?
I think, yeah, and obviously it depends on the I'll say the soil conditions as well, the mineralizations and acidity of the land as well, and how it's got to eat through your coins basically.
Yeah.
Because you find some of them, and at one point it was a thick copper coin, and when you dig it out, it's cruddy, thin, like a hammer, and you're like, wow, it's proper eating away. Definitely. But we're going to go into a wee bit of a controversial discussion, because we've almost been streaming for like 2 hours. That's okay. There's a lot of talk on social media at the moment about I can't remember what it's called, the Association of Detectorists or Institute Detectorists. Have you heard about it?
I've heard about it. I've heard about what they're trying to achieve. Yes.
Yeah. What is your opinion on this? Do you think it's a good idea, a bad idea?
I like what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
I think that what they're trying to do is a good idea, but I think that it is going to encourage more night hawking.
Yeah.
I think I think you're running into the risk of more people night hawking because of it.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to get you to go and take a course on being a detectorist, right?
Yeah, from an archaeologist.
Yeah. So they want you to take a course and be qualified to be a detectorist.
Yeah.
Now, there's going to be some that will say, well, fair enough, because I'd like to learn more. You know, I'd like to have that under my belt.
Yeah.
The archaeology side of people that like the history are going to be well up for that. And it's like, well, yeah, cool. But there's going to be other people that are like, I don't want to do that. I mean, is it going to cost me anything to do this course?
Yeah.
Do I get some sort of qualification at the end of it? I think something needs to be done.
Yep.
In this hobby, because of what is happening, because of the stories we've seen in the papers, the stories on the news, social media, of the night hawking, of people going to prison because of finding stuff, not telling the farmer and selling it on the black market, naughty. And stuff like that needs to be stopped.
Yeah.
But I don't think this would stop it.
No. Like you say, it's got the potential to increase night hawking. So what they're trying to stop or reduce, they're actually increasing themselves by doing this.
It will. People will end up doing it, and they'll be like, people could also end up losing their permission.
Yeah. It's how could you police that? You know what I mean? I don't think you could, personally. There's too many remote farms and things like that, if you know what I mean.
See, at the moment, you get, I'm just trying to think of like monetary value, a way of, but at the moment you get a finder's fee anyway. You know, the landowner gets half, which is fair. It's his field to begin with, you know, and you get the other half, the finder's fee. So I don't understand why people would go down that route anyway. If you are that inclined, if you're that frame of mind that you want to go night hawking and do the landowner out of his share and sell it on the black market, then you get everything you deserve. But I don't think that this is going to stop it.
No. Obviously, just with that coming into playing that, obviously it made me thinking that. So I looked into a little bit of the rules for Scotland, and you always hear land's owned by, in the UK, some land is, or all land is owned by someone. Someone owns that piece of land. So I was like, and you always need permission. So obviously we're always going to go out and find permission. but I had to laugh because when you actually read the Scottish rules on the digging and no archaeological, but just digging and detecting, you don't actually, apparently, in it, you don't actually need permission to detect and
No.
find. What you do need permission for is because if you find the relic or rubbish and you try and remove it from the hole, then you're breaking the law. I was like, oh, right, got it. So I don't need permission to go detecting and walk around the land, but if I try and remove it or bring it out the hole, then you're in trouble. It's like, oh, okay. You might as well just ask for permission. I was like, okay.
Yeah. So you could go around detecting and putting little markers in the grass, little flags saying you've got something there, you've got something there. But the minute you try and dig it, you're in trouble. Yeah.
Yeah. The future Bleeps is saying he detects at night sometimes, headlamp on it in clear winter nights. I love it. Yeah, but the difference there, future Bleeps, is you've probably got permission. That's
hopefully.
Yeah, well, hopefully, yeah. It's the ones that haven't got permission. But I've heard the folks saying that they've caught folk detecting. Have had to chase them off, like doing it in broad daylight though.
I've heard stories of Chris addicted to bleeps, having to chase people off of his permissions, and I think one of them turned out to be a Polish truck driver.
Oh.
You know,
yeah,
because I know it's big business out in Poland. You know, they like the detecting out there, and Russia and that. As you've seen from some of the videos on Facebook where they're finding these hoards, and you know they haven't got archaeologists there. They're just spooning them out, getting them all out.
Yeah.
So when you get someone coming over here who's a truck driver, and then you pull into the lay-by because they've done their full day's driving on the taco, it's like, got the detector here in the back. There's a nice field there.
I'm going to detect it.
Let's get on it.
Yeah.
And realise you can't do that, mate.
Yeah.
Get off.
The rules might be slightly different in Poland to what it is here.
Or you could have a neighbour like Rob Random who creeps out during the night and starts digging up your garden.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Rob will have something to say about that in a minute. Let's see. Oh, most hawking is done in the daytime. You said.
Yeah, some of it is, yeah.
Yeah. That's why I laugh when they call it night hawking. It should just be hawking. Metal detecting hawking, or well, don't even call it metal detecting because there are no metal detectors. Yeah, so I've got a couple of questions for you, and then I think we'll call it a night. But one of them is, all the YouTube contents that you've made,
yes,
what's the most memorable for you? You think? What stands out to you?
I think it was the day that I went detecting with Steve Kershaw of Go and Garrett.
Yeah.
Because it sounds weird to say this, but he was kind of like a hero. I know it's weird and it's YouTube and but at the time he was. I loved his videos. I thought he was brilliant. It was funny, and I just found him really enjoyable. You know, you could sit back. He's put up a new video, brilliant. Let's sit back and watch it. And then for him to say, "I'm going to be in your neck of the woods. Do you fancy meeting up? We'll do some." I was like, "Yeah, brilliant." So then to take him out on one of the fields, you know, and he did it all by the book. He got a permit from the council because where he was staying was a residence in Sussex, so he was able to get a permit. He did it all by the book. He got his permit, got his permission. He came down, and the reason it was memorable is because I brought him on this field and I said, "Look, you're going to have a good day on here. There's loads on here." And I walked away with 4 silvers, and he didn't. So there's me. I got a fistful of silver coins walking away. Have you had a good day, Steve? Yeah. And he's found like a few pre-decimals and that, and some compact mirror that had face powder in it that stunk.
Oh,
it was horrible.
I found a couple of tins, and it had I can't remember what it was called, Snowfire or something like that, and it had a smelly, I don't know if it was cream or just, it might have been cow poo in there, I don't know, but it was kind of smell. It wasn't too smelly nice. Dirt Diggers UK is asking, did Deep Digger Dan sleep over at your house?
He did. when he was doing the 365 thing, he was obviously touring all the way around the coastline, and he was just looking for somewhere where he could charge up his laptop, charge up his phone, and upload his videos.
Yeah.
Because he was like raising money for Rays of Sunshine, you know, that children's charity. And yeah, I was all for that. So I said, well, you can kip on my sofa if you want.
Yeah.
So he did. He came over. We were chatting. We were drinking John Smith's. He had a spaghetti bolognese. He put out a video, and then he
Nice.
stopped over. And yeah, he was a gentleman
Yeah.
for the night.
He seems to have went quiet, Deep Digger Dan now though, hasn't he?
Well, yeah. Now that he's doing the Travel Trolls thing,
Right.
touring Ireland at the moment in his camper van, he doesn't do the detecting half as much, and I don't think he's got any detectors anyway. I think he's sold them all.
Did he? Right.
Yeah, I think so.
Ah, got it. Right. So final question for the night. With your YouTube channel and the metal detecting, where would you like to, or what would you like to see you get out of it in 5 years? Where would you like to be in 5 years?
In 5 years, obviously, I'd like to see some bigger numbers.
Yeah.
But it's not all about. I mean, the subscribers are brilliant.
Yeah.
If you see your sub count going up, it's like, wow, you know, I only started this off as a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
And now there's 6,000 subscribers. And for me, what I like is when I went to Detectable and people came up to me and said, I watch your videos, I really like your videos. You know,
Yeah.
I saw you do something on there and I used that tip and it really worked. Or you get a comment on your videos of people saying, oh, I've just bought this and I really like it. Or I love your videos. You know, they really cheer me up. Stuff like that. When you get a nice comment and you've made a little bit of a difference to someone's life because you've cheered them up. I mean, it's only the tiniest little thing,
Yeah.
but you've made someone's day, or even given them a shout out, or sent them a sticker that says "bugger" on it. Little things like that. I love that.
Yeah. That is good.
I really like that.
No, that's good. So as I say, it's like, well, we've just been streaming for 2 hours 10 minutes now, so I think we'll call a night to that. But I would like to say thank you very much for coming on. It has been a pleasure in having you. And where you said before that you always want to make entertaining your videos, I don't think even or just finding rubbish. I think you're such an entertaining guy anyway. Your videos would be fine just that way anyway. But honestly,
you're very kind. You're very kind.
No problem. But just like to be honest. But I would like to just once again thank you very much for coming on board. What happened there? But it has been a pleasure, and thank you everyone for joining us tonight. It has been a pleasure, and I'll leave.
Thank you. Yeah.
And I'll leave you and say good night. Take care and happy hunting, everyone.